Hello and welcome to video lecture series in political science. Today we are going to discuss chapter 3 titled as US Hegemony in World Politics from your textbook Contemporary World Politics. So far we have discussed about the three dimensions of US hegemony: military power, its structural power, that is economic power, and US as a soft power, in which in all these three areas US has been playing role of a hegemon. In this part of the chapter, today we will discuss about the relationship between India and the US. You know, the US is one of the India's largest trading partners. The United States of America alone accounts for 9% of total foreign direct investment (FDI) in India. Total trade in services between the two countries in 2011 was $54.42 billion US dollar. It registered a growth rate of 16.12%. In 2011 only, India's export to the United States reached around 26.80 billion US dollar, and US exports to India accounted for 27.62 billion US dollar. The US absorbs about 65% of India's total exports in the software sector. 15% of high-tech startups or business enterprises are established by the Indians in America. You know that there is a large community of Indians present in America. The Indian American community is one of the important ethnic groups in American society. They are around 3 million people, which make approximately 1% of the total US population. The presence of Indian diaspora in America is one of the important source of strengthening the relationships between India and the US. They have impacted American culture, they have brought American culture back to the Indian soil as well. There is a cultural mixing and also emergence of a third culture in the process of cultural interaction. Indian American community includes a large number of professionals, business entrepreneurs, people from education sector, and all of them are increasingly influencing the nature of and culture of society. Another strategic option available to the state is to hide. Hiding here means staying away from the dominant power as far as possible. That is, not mingling or crossing the ways with each other or maintaining a low profile. There are many examples of this strategy being adopted. Such behavior is observable among the nations like China, Russia, the European Union, even India at times. All of them tend to stay below the screen and thus avoiding antagonizing the US. But for how long they can do so? While it may be easy for a small state to remain in hiding, but for a big state and emerging powers like China, India and Russia and the European Union, it is difficult to remain cut off for a long period of time. Interestingly, another set of scholars claim that the resistance to hegemony of the US will emerge from the non-state actors. Now, this sounds a bit remote, but let us see what are non-state actors and how they can challenge the hegemony of the US. Non-state actors are individuals or organizations that have social and ideological power, through which they are able to influence and change the nature of events at national and also international level. They are called as non-state actors because they do not belong to or align themselves with any particular state or governmental institutions. They represent the people or the masses. The challenge by non-state actors will come from media, non-governmental organizations, social movements, intellectuals, writers, environmentalists, etc., who have the capacity to challenge the economic and cultural dominance of the US. Say if US does something, they can write, they can project an image about the US and identify the faults in the strategy adopted by the US, and hence they can shape public opinion. The non-state actors have links across national boundaries, and hence it is possible for them to generate immense pressure and criticize or resist the policies of the US. Thus, so far the US has dominated the world, but there will be a time and situation where other powers will also stand up and will challenge the dominance of the US. Let us hope so. Now, in the last part of this chapter, let us discuss the nature of relationship between India and the US. As you know that during the Cold War, India was inclined towards the Soviet Union, the rival superpower of the US. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the friendly relations also disappeared because the USSR collapsed. During these years, that is the early 1990s, India was also opening up its economy, and India had initiated the policy of liberalization and privatization. India had decided to open its economy and integrate with the global economic system. After the change in its economic policies, India achieved high levels of economic growth in the next decade, and it became an attractive destination for many of the economic powers in the world, including the United States. Now, in the contemporary global economy and international system, one cannot remain cut off from the US because you are integrated into the world economy. India has also entered into partnership with the US in the recent years, and a number of factors have contributed towards strengthening of Indo-US relations. What are these factors? These factors are related to economic and technological dimensions, the presence and role of Indian diaspora in the US. That is the people of Indian origin, those who are in the US. Approximately 3 lakh Indians work in Silicon Valley, and with many Indians occupying high level of positions in government organizations, the Indian diaspora has left its imprint on the American way of life. Once again, like any other country, India also has to decide that what kind of relationship India wants to establish with the US. Now, India has two options. On one end, we can be completely dominated by the US. On the other, we can stand totally against the hegemon. But we need to look after our interest and seek friendly ties. Some people are of the opinion that India should remain aloof from the US and should focus upon increasing its own military power and national capacity. India should not become a military base for the US like many small countries are becoming. On the other hand, some people believe that there is a growing convergence of interest between India and the US, and India should take opportunity to bond well with the United States. India in fact should take advantage of the partnership with the US and should look for the best possible options in the strategic matters. Standing in opposition to the US will not give us anything in long run. India tends to gain if we have good relations with the United States. A third perspective or a third group of scholars advocate that India should play a leading role in establishing an alliance of emerging powers from the developing world. Over a period of time, this group can become more powerful than the hegemon. In the course of time, this group may succeed in reducing the domination of the hegemon. But truly speaking, our relations with the US are too complex to be guided or managed by a single strategy. India and the US have entered into a partnership in various areas, such as civil nuclear cooperation, defense cooperation, counter-terrorism, strategic dialogue, trade, economic investments, energy, environment, etc., and also people-to-people ties. So, in order to have good relations with the US, India needs to develop a mix of various foreign policy strategies. To conclude, let us summarize this chapter. In this chapter, we discussed about the concept of hegemony. We discussed about the 3 dimensions of hegemony: hegemony as a hard power or military power, hegemony in structural sphere, and hegemony as a soft power. We took example of various areas and different spheres and analyzed that how US has been playing role of a hegemon in these different spheres. We saw how after disintegration of the USSR, the US emerged as a hegemon, influencing the nature of events all over the world. We also discussed that how can we overcome the hegemony of the US, and towards the end we discussed briefly about the nature of relationship between India and the US. So, this is about the US hegemony in the contemporary world politics. Enjoy reading this chapter. Thank you.